Hey gang, welcome back to Tin Man Customs, where we're getting ready to roll on another project. And this project is going to be taking Titans Return Roadburn here, and we're going to turn him into a Titans Return Cliffjumper. And in order to do that, let's see, we're going to use called GDO Cliffjumper. Was a variant on the Transformers Prime Cliffjumper. They had gone in and given him more of a G1 style head, so I'm going to take the head off of this figure and put it on one of the Roadburn figures. And the reason I'm going to do that is this one was more deluxe scale, and to me Cliffjumper was one of the small figures in the original toy line, and I kind of always like keeping the mini-bots as mini-bots, essentially. And so this should be a fairly fast mod. All I'm going to have to do is go in here and build either a post or take the ball socket off of this figure and fit it into here so he can have a ball joint, or I will just do a screw and washer and go through there and just make it a swivel head. So it should be pretty straightforward. As you can see in here, the reds are a little they're different shades of red, so I think what I'll try to do is cover up a lot of this black that's on there for the Roadburn figure, and whatever red paint I use there, I will probably put it on the red on his helmet, so then it kind of ties together, and then we can get away with having a pretty quick mod instead of having to dismantle the whole figure and spray paint him. So we'll go ahead and clean this up and get started on him. Gang, now here he is. This is probably one of the quickest mods I think I've done since starting the channel here, but I I really dig the way he turned out as well. It's just a really quick slight paint job, and swapping that head out. It was a little tricky figuring out how to get the ball joint socket that was on Cliffjumper's head there, and making it more of a straight joint with those bolts and the screw in there. But he works. It's a really stiff joint there. Let's bring out his G1 self. I should have brought the G1 Bumblebee as well, because these guys were very similar, slightly different body type and shape of the feet, which is the front of the car. In recent lines, though, Bumblebee and Cliffjumper have been straight up repaints, except for the head. Now, let's see here. Let's move him back. And here's the Titans Return Bumblebee figure, the official one. So you can see where he's pretty much the same mold. Now, the arms on Bumblebee are just, this is just a fan-made mode to put him in, essentially, because a lot of people don't care for the big wings, essentially, on the front of the arms on him. And you just reverse the arms and reverse the forearms when you have him in robot mode, and he looks much more like a Bumblebee. So I suppose I could go in and maybe paint the upper arms black on that side and then switch them around. But having the bulkier upper arms on him really doesn't bother me. Cliffjumper was kind of a tough guy back in the G1 cartoon. He was always trying to pick a fight. And so here's the figure I started with, though. It's Roadburn or Chase, depending on which naming, if you want to name it, call him after his G1 counterpart. But so all I did here was cover up all the black trim on this guy. Just painted over that with the same red that I painted on his head to try and tie the colors all together, so I didn't have to do a full body repaint, as I was really looking for just a quick custom. And let's see, I've got him here. We've got a couple of the other Titans Return mini bots in here as well. So Cliffjumper and B and Brawn. I should have brought my Outback. Stuck him out here as well. So there they all are. And he transforms the same as the original one does. And so I can clear these guys out real quick. And we'll get these guys transformed up real quick. See how fiddly that was. That's one thing I like for the robot modes on a lot of these Legends class figures from the Titans Return line, but I tell you, they're very fiddly to get into their vehicle modes. Both this mold and the wheelie mold is awful trying to get those. The Brawn is this guy here. He's probably the best one they did for getting into vehicle mode. He goes right in quickly, much like their G1 counterparts were super simple and went right together. Now you can kind of stick that in there if you want to have somewhere to put the gun during weapon mode or vehicle mode. And there he is. As you can see, he's all red. I'm not going to mess with that bumper. It's not completely snapped in there because I want to get the video done. Added the silver on the wheels, and that was pretty much it. I also changed the headlight color just to break him up from the Chase here, who had yellow and black on there. So we'll go ahead and get him back into robot mode for the final look at him. Alright, so here we have him back in robot mode. The gun is from the Generations Huffer mold. So yeah, pretty straightforward, pretty nice and simple. I left the light piping eyes in there. I normally paint the eyes blue, but his seemed to work really well in person. I don't know if that's showing up as well on camera, but the eyes do light up really well, even in low lighting. There he is. Hope you guys like him. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Give me some comments. Maybe subscribe if you really like what you see. And if you're interested in doing any of these figures, just look down in the description below. I usually include whatever kind of paints, figures that I use in anything. So thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will get to work on my next figure.